Hey, I'm Butterfly.
Hey, I'm Firefly.
Have you ever wondered if we aren't being told the truth about everything?
What have we been lied to about? Join us as we have conversations and ask questions about everything. We invite you to keep an open mind and consider the unfathomable.
Let's break the chains that enslave our minds. Come on, let's go down the rabbit hole.
What's up, Butterfly?
Hey, Firefly, what's going on?
Well, today's episode is kind of predicated on a meme that you saw during Cooties.
Oh, yes, that meme was kind of perfect.
It was
It
a
was
bunch of sheep.
like 1,000 white sheep
Yeah,
running towards a cliff. And there was one black sheep.
that's us.
And he was like, wait, you're going the wrong way.
Yeah, don't go over the cliff.
But nobody was listening to him.
That's right.
We're
And
the black
so
sheep.
we're the black sheep. And we were trying to say, it's kind of like the dad who you went and you're like, hey, sir, come here. You're going to get the pokies with your son. Let me show you all of this information about how dangerous those are. And he was like, wow, that sure is interesting. I didn't know all that. Okay, well, let's come on, son. Let's go get him.
No, these shots might kill you. Okay, let's go ahead and do
Let's go
it.
ahead. So it's like there was somebody telling me not to jump off this cliff, but oh well, let's go. And
Yeah.
so what happened is everybody went and jumped off the cliff,
Yeah.
metaphorically speaking.
Yeah.
And what that means in where the rubber meets the road real time is now everybody is like that 80s song. How did it go?
Living in Oblivion. I'm still trying to figure out which song that was, but I'll come up.
Living in
Oblivion.
oblivion. So it's like
It's a new order.
so they wander around in this stupor.
Yeah.
They wander around. So today, when I was driving, a dude made a left-hand turn. Like he waited, like he was waiting for it to be clear, but all he did was wait until I was right in the danger zone, and he drove into me,
Yeah.
and I had to like avoid him.
This is the kind of behavior that we're seeing.
It
It's
was like, what the hell are you thinking, dude?
so something happened to me a few days ago which made me start to think about this topic a little bit more. And I started, well, I'll just tell the little story of what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I guess this is just like an anecdote, but there's like so many of these instances, but this made me made it very made me very aware of these issues. I recently got a puppy
You got a puppy.
and she's adorable.
Yes, she is.
I mean, it doesn't really get much cuter than her.
That's right.
So, and I was out with my little puppy and I actually took her to In and Out. Like rarely eat there, but for some reason I was there.
Yeah.
And like nobody like really noticed her even. Like they didn't even like see her. Nobody was
That is kind of
It
telling.
was weird. Like one old lady walked by and she was like, "Oh, it's a cute little puppy. It's a baby." And I'm like, "Yeah." But everybody else was just basically oblivious. And I started thinking how weird that was because I know when I'm out and I see somebody with like an adorable puppy, I'm like, "Oh my gosh, that is so cute. What's the puppy's name? What kind of dog is it?" I just want to like go pet the puppy.
Yeah.
And I mean, maybe, a lot of, I don't know, I'm an animal lover, but it's to me, it just seemed weird that nobody even noticed her when she was so adorable and she had like a little flower on her neck
Mm,
and
totally.
everything so cute. So I started thinking about this and all of these other things that I see on a daily basis, like your experience with traffic and my experience as well. And I was thinking, you know what? People are so unaware of the world around them that they like are completely oblivious to like what's happening in front of right in front of their eyes. Like they don't even see like people. I don't think people see even, the beauty of life and what is out there in the
That's
world.
true.
There's so many horrific awful things happening, but there's also beauty in this world and like, you can look out and appreciate the ocean or the mountains, the trees and
They
flowers
don't
and
seem to
a
notice
beautiful
anything
day.
beautiful or ugly or anything.
They don't notice
They're just like,
anything. Yeah, and so I started thinking about like um that book Brave New World.
hmm
So in that book, I think this should be required reading for our audience.
totally.
Brave New World and 1984 and The Giver. So they all have similar themes, but Brave New World and The Giver kind of are very similar. And what they did was all of the characters in these books had to take like a daily drug. So
hmm
in Brave New World, it was Soma.
That's right.
And the Soma would, keep them from getting agitated. And in The Giver, it was a similar kind of thing where they had took a little injection every day and it kept them from feeling anything. They just had no emotional response to
It's by the
anything.
one kid who stopped taking it,
And then he started to feel.
and then he started to learn from the giver about history.
Yeah,
Why is that important? Because if people are rendered into this walker state that we're talking about, where they're oblivious to what's going on around them, and they're basically oblivious to what's going on. They got their head lodged up their ass, right? They have no situational awareness. They're not going to know about history.
right.
They're not going to learn
It's
about
true.
the danger that they're in historically.
And also, yeah, if they don't even notice or seem to care about what's happening right in front of them, I don't think they're going to notice or care about what happened, 20 or 100 or 200 years ago or 200 million years
And
ago,
we've talked about how those man on the street interviews are very, very scary, where the dude goes up and goes, "When was the Civil War?" And they have no idea.
They have no idea. So this also makes me think about like, my theory or whatever, the concept of what shape is this world? And people often say, who cares? What difference does it make? And I say, well, the thing is, like, if you don't know where you are in this world or existence, like, how do you know where you're going? You know,
Well, that's a good point.
and I think this is all by design.
Yes.
So I think that, I started like just noticing this very obviously. And I started thinking, could it be possible that we are sort of living in Brave New World and people are being somatized?
Totally.
People are actually, I think, actually on some sort of soma, whether they know it or not. And,
Dude, remember
you know,
Aldous Huxley in 1962? He came out and he was like, "Yeah, yes, well, the Brave New World model
hmm
is a much more efficient model than the 1984 model
yeah,
because so it's
like
mod
this was their plan for us.
like they ran two kind of like
Similar, yeah.
tests.
And
Uh,
and he thought Brave New World was
Brave-
more efficient because it
yeah,
keep the people like, just doped up and numb, and then they'd go along with anything. Whereas with 1984, they were basically shoving the idea down your throat.
the 1984 slogan is a boot stamping on a human face forever.
Yeah,
So that's like just power crushing you.
yeah. They're kind of doing both,
Brave
but
New World is crushing you for sure. But what we do is we do it in a more subtle way. What Brave New World kind of suggests is they don't want you to get agitated.
yeah.
They want you to just quietly and pliantly go along with your extermination.
Well, and like in Brave New World, it's more acceptable because people will accept being doped up and numb and dumbed down, you know, easily because it's, I guess, more pleasurable to just take their soma and forget about the world,
Like,
you
remember the
know?
one girl, she's talking to the other one, and she's like, "How many times have you had sex this week, Monica?" And it's like, she's like, "Only like four." And she's like, "What's wrong with you?" And then plus, why are you having sex with Brad? And Brad's not an alpha. He's from Zeta, and he's like from that other echelon. And she was like all mad at him.
Yeah.
See, so it's not just Soma; it's also these weird sexual dynamics. that are
Sexual,
part
yeah.
of it.
And
So
kind of a keeping up with the Joneses type of thing on a
yes,
certain level.
there's certain conduct that,
Yeah.
because you notice like people don't know when the Civil War was or rudimentary math, but they're very cognizant of what is appropriate behavior these days.
Yeah.
Like they're very cognizant of that in Brave New World.
Yeah. But that's not really appropriate either.
It's not
They're
appropriate to
appropriate.
Christian values
Yeah.
or 1950s values. It
Yeah.
was like Brave New World when it first came out. Think about how abhorrent that probably was
Oh,
to
yeah. It
audiences.
was probably like scandalous,
They were like,
you
"This is
know?
disgusting," and also this would never happen. It was probably like so far-fetched.
Yeah,
Now we
right.
live in Brave New World.
Yeah, totally. So, um, I I kind of I kind of started to think that I think that people are actually on some sort of soma, and that could be through big shawarma because so many people are
Yeah.
taking it, and the chemtrails, and I think pokey pokes.
Oh, for sure.
So I think that a lot of these things, and probably a lot in combination. And what I've heard recently is, that shot that a lot of people are taking in their stomachs so that they can lose a few pounds.
GL1,
Yeah. I heard that those have,
Gila Monster 1.
yes, they have a lot of the same ingredients that the Cooties Pokey Pokes had. So
It's probably mRNA.
yeah, so people are getting like a double whammy of that because they're getting their boosters, and then they're also like shooting up their stomachs with this stuff.
And the flu shots are mRNA. I think mRNA is the new thing. They
Hmm.
really want to get that stuff in you because my understanding is mRNA genetically alters you and turns you into a product.
Yeah, it's
And
got a
then
patent.
also people are taking these mRNA injections just basically 100% trust
Yeah,
in Big Shawarma.
yeah.
There's stuff in there, who knows?
Who knows what that stuff
Like we've
is?
already talked about how they had clinical trials where people hung themselves, you know, well, there was several
Yeah,
people who hung themselves by a scarf from a doorknob.
yeah,
That was in one clinical trial.
yeah.
But the fact that they can evoke that specific behavior
Yeah,
means that they can put that in the shots.
right. One of the side effects of some of these antidepressants is suicide by hanging. So I know we've brought this up several times, but I just keep going back to that because if they know that that is a side effect, that's not just suicide, but suicide by hanging, they know that that specific trait is something that might happen if you take this drug, then they know that they are causing people to do this.
Totally.
And if they know that that's happening, for one, why don't they take that component out of the drug? But for another, if they know that there's something in there that makes somebody specifically want to do it that certain way, then it's pretty obvious that they can put things into drugs that would make you want to do other specific behaviors,
Well, that's the thing.
right?
Like when you go take big shawarma, typically what you're thinking is a physiological effect,
Yeah.
but you're not thinking about a psychological effect.
No.
Now, they are very intent on getting the right psychological effect, and they've been studying it for a long time. One of the things I just made a note I wanted to talk about was, you know how we just researched back in San Francisco?
Yeah.
Back in the late 50s and the early 60s, MK
Yes.
Ultra would just spray LSD and mescaline on people without even them knowing. And
Yeah.
they just want to study because what they want to do is they want to find out how they can control people's minds.
Right.
That's what Soma in Brave New World is all about.
Yeah.
It's controlling people's
Yeah.
minds.
So they did this, and it's documented. This is not a conspiracy theory. It's
No, this
documented
is documented.
that they did that, and they sprayed LSD, just experimenting on the public to see how people would act
Two
with,
people died,
yeah,
which is gnarly. To
with,
die from acid.
yeah, and without like consent. There was no consent to this. And I mean, maybe that's what's wrong with the people in San Francisco. It's like kind of leftover
Totally.
thing.
Because you know what? This is what I was thinking. Like, if you get told about that experiment from the late 50s and the early 60s, how many that they're not telling you about are taking place now?
Exactly.
They're spraying crap all over those people in San
Ye-
Francisco.
Yeah.
And that's why, dude, I've been there. Those people are walkers.
They
They're
are.
well dressed. They have beautiful dogs, beautiful homes, but they're walkers.
Yeah, for
Dude, they
sure.
have beautiful dogs in San Francisco.
Do they?
Oh my God, I went to the park and it was just like these gorgeous, well-groomed, healthy dogs. Like these dogs were like living just thriving lives.
Interesting. I wonder if the Soma that's being sprayed doesn't affect the dogs.
I think not. I think they're focused on the people because the people look have you ever noticed like liberals, they are diminutive
Uh-huh.
and unhealthy and
Totally.
their faces are all gaunt and
And
sinewy
pale.
and they've got tattoos. They're not healthy. Their dogs are thriving and just the peak of health.
Well, it's interesting because they've been pushing this idea on to them that like you shouldn't have children and, shouldn't
Oh,
reproduce, but a lot of them are really into their dogs.
totally.
So maybe that is the reason for that, like what you saw,
Dude, these
because
dogs are like
they
put up
don't
on a
have
pedestal.
they don't have kids, but they're
So they,
probably
yeah.
they're probably spending like a lot of money and time and effort onto like taking good care of their dogs.
So exactly.
Maybe.
So I think the gist of that point is the San Francisco experiments. The reason I bring that up is because I think this oblivious, head up your ass state that people are in is intentional.
It is.
The Culture Club wants people there.
I think so. I think they want people somatized. They want people dumbed down with fluoride and other things that they're spraying on
Hmm.
us.
Hmm.
Because, when you have people that are dumb, they're not really going to ask a lot of important questions, you
Totally.
know, but they want people to be um, numbed down also. Because when
Hmm.
you're numb, you kind of don't really care.
You're not going to get
You're
agitated.
not going to get agitated. You're not going to fight back or,
That's what Aldous
resist.
Huxley says. He goes, if you ply people with the proper drugs and sex, they will submit to circumstances they normally would not.
Hmm.
Because what happens is if you're numb and just totally drugged out, you're not happy, but you're so lethargic and you know what the word is? Apathetic.
Apathetic.
They're
Yeah.
apathetic.
Yeah. And they don't really have any gumption to do anything.
They don't.
So I've noticed with like a lot of this, I don't even know, is it a generation or is it just a group? I mean, because it seems to span over like lots of different age groups.
It's a whole bunch of different things because
Yeah.
it's demoralization too.
Yeah.
Like they were talking about, the education system, I think, has been the predicate for it. The chemicals have been an important part, but the brainwashing is important because it has to work in conjunction with the
Totally.
chemicals.
And the brainwashing is kind of complete at this point. The younger generation is completely indoctrinated,
They're
most
totally
most of them.
brainwashed.
And so I think like it's almost like they've kind of created this situation where the people a lot of the people are at the point where they totally are manipulative manipulatable.
Manipulatable.
Manipulable.
Exactly.
They're easily
And that's
manipulated.
why we talked about how the whole situation is ripe for Operation Bluebeam
Yeah.
because they could do a huge deception
And
and just guide people like rats to their demise
and
right
they
now.
won't even know. And I think MK Ultra is happening all around us,
That's what I was
you
thinking. Like
know.
you're looking at that, they're showing you that 1956 to 1961 study where they just sprayed
Yeah,
mescaline.
that did
Mescaline is gnarly.
that didn't stop in 1961.
No, that's exactly right.
That's still happening. And in fact, you know what? That's really interesting
It's
because
industrial now.
yeah, I think probably the chemtrails are like the new version of that. And they probably figured like, oh
Totally.
my gosh, we sprayed this stuff on the city and like a couple of people actually died. Okay, so we gotta like, scale it back just a little bit and we'll like spray it from higher up or whatever. They're spraying
This is
something.
why I just had an epiphany
What?
because I've done acid and I've done mescaline. And one of the
What's
things,
mescaline? I've never even heard
it's
of
in
it. I
mushrooms.
thought it was like a lettuce.
Mescaline is, if I'm not mistaken, mescaline is um, a drug that the Native Americans would use, kind of like
Mm,
peyote.
mm,
But there's also mushrooms. There's psilocybin in
mm-hmm.
mushrooms. So one of the things that these psychotropic drugs have in common is they give you this feeling of
Euphoria.
uh, not really.
Mm.
It's the initial come on when you start peaking on acid is you feel disoriented.
Oh,
So
see, I don't like that.
you feel disoriented.
I don't
So
like
suddenly um your relationship to things is suddenly different
distorted.
and strange. And because of that, you feel this it's terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
Like someone like myself, I know how to just say I'm on a drug, roll with it. Other people, they get terrified and they go into a panic, and the drug lasts about 8 to 10 hours.
So this is where they would be able to come in and be like, "Come with me.
That's right.
I can help you."
Because what did we say? Once you get into that disoriented, terrified state, Satan goes, good, good, good. Because then he's got media for you. He's
Hmm.
got big shawarma and
And
media.
he tells you what to do, and they need to be told what to do to calm them down.
So
This all
maybe
makes perfect sense.
maybe that's why mescaline and acid were the initial studies, is because they've probably taken whatever it was in those two drugs and they've incorporated it into these big shawarma pills and whatever they're spraying on us to give you that disassociation, because that's the feeling where you feel like you're out of control,
Mm,
and a lot of people freak the fuck out
mm-hmm.
when they have that.
Yeah,
They can't handle not feeling like they're in control.
yeah.
I'm able to kind of give myself over to it, but other people freak out. Now, when you freak out and you're terrified and I think you have to be in a panic, a
Mm-hmm.
panic.
Yeah,
And
panic.
if you go turn to the media when you're in a panic, that's when Satan goes, good, good, good.
Come with me.
I got you. You're in a panic. Come here. Here. This is first of all this is the
The
worldview.
anecdote.
This is the anecdote. So what does Satan give you? He goes, first thing I'm going to tell you is here's your worldview.
Mm.
Here's how you look at things. And then here's your soma. That's how it is. So I think what you're seeing is people who have been given, because remember, the last episode that we just published was really profound. It was talking about how um,
Controlled opposition.
yeah, but the Culture Club controls the distribution of media so tightly that you only see what they want you to see.
Exactly.
And if you only see what they want you to see, they can essentially control your opinions and your mind.
Well, and when they control your opinions and your mind, they control reality.
They control reality.
Whether it's real or not, they're
That's right.
controlling the reality that they are allowing you to see.
Almost like those VR goggles are kind of like a metaphor.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up those VR goggles because all of this makes me think about that because what we're sort of heading towards is this, AI world and where everything's like they basically want everything to be online and virtual. Like
Yeah,
they don't want people to have real life connections anymore. And I think what you were saying earlier is that a lot of people have given up on that. Like
totally.
they don't I don't think I don't think even maybe a lot of people are sad about that. Maybe some of them are, but some of them, I feel like they've just sort of given up the idea of having real life connections and they're fine with everything being online and virtual, which is where they want us,
Freud
you know?
Freud kind of talked about that, and Freud was all the way back in the 1920s, 1930s. He was talking about this, and what it is I think they call it sublimation, and it's when so let's say you're a dude and you see a beautiful woman walk by and you really want to have sex with her. Now, there's two ways of dealing with that. You can be like, I'm gonna go talk to her. Or you can be like, I'm a fat, disgusting retard, so I have no chance. I'm not even gonna try. There's no way I'm gonna have her. I feel like crap about myself. I have a low self-esteem. I'm not even gonna try. And he's probably right. He's fat, disgusting, and retarded. He's gonna go up and say, hey, and she's gonna go, get away from me. And so he's had that happen so many times, so he doesn't even try anymore. So now he finds a surrogate object of his affection. And
Mm.
I think it's called sublimation. Anyways, it's when
That's interesting that Freud talked about that because he was a
Hmm.
total pervert, and
Totally.
he was probably like finding little kids to do that
He's
with.
like, I do that all the time.
Yeah, it's gross.
So, anyways, if let's say what made me bring up that point was take some dude who's like stuffing pizza down his throat at 2 in the morning, and he weighs 400 pounds,
Mm-hmm.
and he's like sitting in his underwear in front of his computer.
Gross.
Okay, so a lot of chicks aren't going to want to have sex with him.
Yeah,
So he probably has decided, I give up on actual physical
connection.
connection.
Yeah,
I'm going to go with my surrogate online.
yeah,
I'm going to find a girl who's just going to show me what I want to see. I'll text her, I'll jerk off, and that'll be my sex life.
yeah.
And I think people have
They've accepted that.
they've accepted that.
Mm-hmm.
They've just said, you know what, I'm going to have surrogate sex because, and it's not just fat, disgusting, fat Steve sitting at his house.
Yeah.
It's also like, well, I'm a lesbian. That's kind of another way of sublimating. It's like, well, men have hurt me, so I'm just going to go get with a girl.
Totally. Yeah, I think that's the case with a lot of people where, yeah, they just kind of give up. They're like, oh, I've had too many bad experiences, so it's going to be easier and safer this way.
And what are the ramifications of that kind of surrogate artificial
Well,
connection?
you're never going to have a real deep connection with anybody that way. And like, you're not going to have children, if you don't have a real
You're
relationship.
not going to have love.
You're not going to have love. You're not going to have any kind of like real, you know, spiritual connection. It's just going to be very
You know what,
shallow.
too? You won't have any self-esteem. And
Yeah,
I think having low self-esteem is important for the culture club.
it
They
is.
want people to have low self-esteem because people with a low self-esteem, kind of like, again, Aldous Huxley, you'll submit to circumstances that you normally wouldn't if you have a low self-esteem.
Totally. So I think there's a lot of these poisons that are coming at us from all different directions. I mean, we mentioned like fluoride, big shawarma, the shots, the chemtrails, but there's a lot of stuff that people don't even realize. Like, we talked about how we think that
Starbucks,
Starbucks has
totally.
something addictive in it, which I totally
And
think,
Taco Bell too. Dude,
yeah,
last
maybe
night,
a lot of
oh my
that stuff.
God, I was driving with my daughter and we drove and she was like, oh, because we were on our way to go eat dinner. So obviously we're not going to get food right now. We're on our way to go get dinner. And she's
Yeah,
like, shoot, we're driving by Taco Bell. I really want Taco Bell because she loves Taco Bell. And I
yeah,
can tell Taco Bell's got drugs in it
there's something in there.
because she joneses for it the way like a crackhead goes, "Oh, I just want to, just let's make a stop real quick."
Oh my gosh.
So I think there is no, so you just brought up a really good point.
Mm,
So people are um bathing in a stew
yeah,
of chemicals right now.
totally. Well, not only that, but literally. So I don't, so the other one thing I wanted to mention too before I move on to the chemical thing, because that's a really good point. Um, Sucralose.
Oh God, yes.
I mean, have we talked about this a little bit, I think, in another
I
episode,
was
but
addicted to it for 10
you were
years.
addicted to those monster drinks, and we kind of discovered that it was like the common denominator in all of this stuff and all these drinks was sucralose.
Yep.
And remember I told you there's been a lot of studies where they've said that sucralose does some weird has weird effects on kids' brains. Well, I'm sure it's not just kids, I'm sure it's everybody.
It's
Um,
got all kinds of horrible effects and it's very addicting because
it's addicting.
I told you I'm an addict, but I got addicted to meth. I got addicted to cigarettes. I got addicted to weed, and sucralose was the gnarliest one. I quit everything. I quit drinking, smoking, and smoking weed back in 2016, but I couldn't quit sucralose until just recently.
I think people don't even realize that they're getting
That's what
it
it was.
because they're,
I thought
yeah,
Monsters just had caffeine and they
yeah.
had all those other stuff, but lots of caffeine. And I was like, whatever, caffeine, whatever. No, sucralose is gnarly.
Sucralose is gnarly. And I started, remember I started telling you like we were reading the ingredients and they're putting that into drinks, into candy, into gum that already has sugar in it. So why, if you're already getting it sweetened with sugar, why would you then add sucralose? There's got to be another reason for it. So they're putting it in there intentionally for another reason, not just as a sweetener.
Well, it
It's
comes in what I did some studying about it. It comes in products that say sugar free and fat free.
yeah,
So it's like this is a safe alternative.
right.
So it's not only is it just snuck into drinks, but it's snuck into drinks in under the guise of this is good for you.
Whenever I see where it says sugar free or it says no sugar added, I always say no. I don't want that because when it says that, most of the time, I mean, there's sometimes where they just use fruit juice to sweeten it, but you got to read the ingredients. But usually when it says that, it's sweetened with an artificial sweetener, which they're all really bad. I mean, aspartame is really bad too. But
And why did the FDA approve that? That's what always
well,
comes to my mind.
I think we're going to do a whole episode on the FDA because
Totally.
I think they're out to get
Hmm.
us.
Look at all the big shawarma. It's like, do you get weird lumps in your neck?
Yeah, I mean, why? I mean, maybe we can just include that in this episode. Why does the FDA approve these things that are so deadly and dangerous? And
Oh my
it's
God.
in so many different things. Like kids are eating candy,
So the FDA
and
approves Ozempic, and you've
yeah.
seen what these people look like. Have you seen Ozzy's
Oh
daughter?
my God, she looks like she's dead.
She looked death warmed over.
Yeah.
And so this is
She looks
approved.
like she's about 80 years old.
Oh
And
my
how old is
God.
she? Like 35 or something?
35 maybe?
Yeah.
And what the hell? And then the other thing that's weird is the FDA approves that,
Yeah.
and there's commercials everywhere for it on the Super Bowl. It's like
Well,
the biggest thing.
so
And
I
it's Gila Monster Venom.
yeah, so that's another thing. I think like you see those commercials all the time. And they're really pushing it. I think there's something in that drug that they totally want to get in people, as many people as they can. And when they're pushing, like when they were pushing the cootie shot, we were super suspicious. Why are they pushing this drug so hard? I mean, so hard. It's on radio all the time. It's on TV all the time.
Super Bowl commercial after Super Bowl commercial.
Yeah, and all these celebrities
Selena,
are
what's her name?
they're all
Serena
yeah,
Williams.
they're all showing like, "Oh, look at, I lost 10 pounds or whatever." And like all these people are like just they're pushing it down our throats. There's a reason why they're doing that.
It's because that's the new Soma.
Mhm.
They need people taking that stuff. There's that stuff, first of all, it's not about weight loss. There's mind control substances in that stuff
Yeah. So
and addiction.
there's mind control
It's
and
probably mRNA too.
yeah,
Can you say it's mRNA?
probably. And so the other thing is the chemicals. Those aren't just like standard chemicals that people think of, like, some bad chemical. Did you know that most of the body products that people use are full of terrible, really dangerous chemicals?
You had said that. You know
Yeah,
why? Because you can use yucca now on products.
yeah. I use yucca because, like, soaps, body washes, body lotions, all kinds of cosmetics. Um, Sunscreen is a big one. And did you know the rate of skin cancer went up drastically since they started pushing heavily sunscreen? Because there's
Totally.
carcinogens in the sunscreens. I mean, you don't want to get too much sun to where you get burned, but covering your body with a shirt or like a mineral sunscreen, you can read the ingredients. Those are safe. But most of these just, big box, whatever
The
most
brand
the
names.
brand names all have really bad chemicals in
Because your skin, people think, oh, it's only on the skin, but your
it. It
skin absorbs
absorbs.
it and it gets into your
Yeah,
system.
it gets into your system like cosmetics, it'll go into your eyes. Lipsticks are really bad. A lot of lipsticks and lip glosses are full of really dangerous things and it's hard. You got to do a lot of research to find safer ones, but it's scary because
See, why does
people
the FDA approve? FDA
why
approves that.
why are they approved? And like kids and young girls start using this stuff at a really young age, so they're getting poisoned all the
I just had an
time.
epiphany. The FDA is all about making money.
Exactly.
So the FDA board is composed of FDA executives. It's executives from Big Shawarma who now sit on the board and do a bunch of favors for their cronies. And what they do is they allow people to they allow companies to put in toxic things into everyday products because that's going to corral people into the healthcare system.
Right. So yeah, it's not just all about money.
Because you give a healthy lady lipstick and then now she starts getting some fucked up problems. She's going to go to the doctor and the doctor's going to go, I'm sorry. Now you have to take this big shawarma for the rest of your life.
Yeah. So I think it's not just the FDA wanting to make money. I think it's a way for them to do exactly what you said. The psychopaths are adding these things into everyday products, not because it's necessary, but because they want to make us sick. And remember, I told you, I was reading the ingredients in like the dog food,
Yeah,
and I
totally.
saw that the canned dog food I've been feeding my dog for like several years now has carrageenan in it, which is a carcinogen. And they put carrageenan in all kinds of stuff. Like, remember the cottage cheese we talked about? It's hard to even
It's a
find,
texturizer.
yeah, it's hard to even find cottage cheese that doesn't have chemicals in it. But I'm like, why would you add that into dog food? Like, it should just be the meat and the whatever that
Because
goes
they do
into
the
it.
same, they have the same formula for the dogs as they do for us.
Yeah.
Because remember, my ex-wife, she worked at the vet, and Dr. T was the Indian dude who was the indentured servant, and he had come from India, and his job was to be the vet. And it was like, well, why are you a vet, dude? And he's like, well, I have to give procedures and drugs to dogs and cats that they don't need
Yeah.
because we really want to get big shawarma into your cat and dog too
They
because
want
that's
to.
big money.
Yeah. So they want the animals to be sick too, because
They want
like,
your animal taking a bunch of big shawarma
yeah,
their whole life.
yeah. And the animals will get cancer and all these other
So they
things.
poison the food.
They poison the food, and
And then
then
the animal gets sick, and then you go bring it in. They go, oh, there's Dr. T going, I'm afraid we'll have to do a stomach pump, and then he'll have big shawarma the rest of his
yeah,
life.
and then
And
you
then that big
see.
shawarma will cause other
Total,
side effects.
yeah. I mean, just like with us. And then, you see all the people in San Francisco that take such good care of their dogs. They're going to be taking their dogs to the vet and
Oh,
paying for like all the big shawarma, the chemo, everything else to, save their animal because they were eating the wrong thing all these years.
so
So,
that's kind of a white pill. That kind of
mhm,
makes me think of white pill for this episode
I
because
like white.
there's a lot of people in San Francisco who are probably like hyper conscious about what they give their dogs.
Hmm.
And maybe they use the Yucca app and they're like, oh my God, no, I don't use that food.
I know.
So maybe their dogs are totally healthy, but they're stupid because they're being subjected to. See, that's the kind of oblivion that they have.
I
They themselves are being completely just bathed in toxins,
Yeah.
but they're like, but I use the Yucca app.
Yeah, I don't know even if they use the Yucca app, because I think if they just package something as being healthy, a lot of people just think it's automatically healthy. Like, those greenies, those treats for dogs. Um I get a version of those that's a different brand. It's like Minties or something, and they
They're
look.
chewies, right?
Yeah,
They're green chewy
they're
toys.
supposed to like clean their teeth. And actually I think they kind of work. Um but I read the ingredients on this one that I've been getting, and it looks all really fine. Like, there's like parsley and, like mint oil and stuff like that in there. Um, but I read the ingredients on the greenies box, and it's like, first of all, when you see a list of ingredients that's like a mile long,
It's not a good
that's a
sign.
red flag, because there shouldn't be that many ingredients in anything that you're ingesting or
No.
putting on your body. So when I see a long list of ingredients, I start thinking there's something wrong there. But
If they're herbs and stuff, that's cool. But if they're like chemicals that you can't pronounce,
yeah,
it's
so
not.
I read the ingredients on the greenies, and I was like, wow, there's a lot of really weird stuff in this. So there's usually alternatives to those things. I don't know if Yucca does dog food stuff. I don't, or pet products. I don't think they do. I'm not sure. But anyway, what I was noticing is, when you see a package that looks like, like the greenies, for example, like it looks like it would be good, right? It's going to
Yeah.
clean your dog's mouth and it looks healthy. But then you read the ingredients, and it's the same thing we found out with cottage cheese. Not all of those are healthy. Same thing with like cosmetic products. Like some of
My
those.
mom did that. She just bought this green powder and she was like, "Oh, this is gonna be like a supplement. I'm gonna take it in the morning. It's gonna make me so healthy." Dude, she took it like a week ago and it made her have like violent diarrhea for the rest of the day.
Oh,
And I
that's
was
not
like,
good.
"Throw that stuff away.
That's not good.
That's not good." So
No.
what they're doing now is they're pushing
Healthy
supplements and
stuff.
healthy stuff
Yeah.
and it's all full
And
of
they're not,
crap.
yeah, they're not actually healthy. They're full of chemicals.
So that's kind of
And
deceptive.
I think that's where they're like getting the liberals on board. They're like, look, you're being healthy, you got to take this. And so they don't like really investigate it to find out that if it's healthy or not. But I think it's all part of trying to keep people somatized. And
That's it.
I think it's working. I think people, for the most part, like a big majority of the population, is really under like mind control from
It's a spell.
all it's a spell from all of these chemicals that
The Bible calls it pharmakia.
they're chemicals that they're ingesting, you know, or inhaling or putting on their bodies. And I think it's somatizing them.
Well, when did they come up with the Tavistock Institute? The Tavistock Institute was formed in 1905 in England. With the literally, it's kind of like CERN. You know how CERN,
Hmm.
they're like, our mission here at CERN is to open up portals to hell and let demons in.
That
Uh,
sounds like a great idea.
that's our mission. We're all focused. We're aligned. But then the uh, the mission at the Tavistock Institute is we want to brainwash Americans into getting into World War One,
Oh, that's good.
which they did. So then they went, whoa, 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 that worked out really good. So in the 9 years leading up to World War One, we convinced the American people to go get into a war that was not a good idea at all.
Yeah.
So
I think they've figured out that they can brainwash people on a mass scale,
they have.
you know,
So that's
and it's
what
effective.
it
It works.
started. It started with the Tavistock Institute, and then so that was 1905. So now you're looking at 120 years of 40-hour work weeks,
Hmm.
sitting down and really looking at how can we control people's minds,
Exactly.
that moved into the MK Ultra program in the 50s and the 60s, and
Which,
they really made a lot of progress then.
yeah, they're
That
still
was when they
doing
were
that.
like, "Well, we're gonna so this is what we're gonna do today." So this is when I kind of think people were doing like Severance back in the 50s and 60s, where they were showing up at work and then they go home and their wife was like, "What'd you do today, honey?" I don't remember, but what's for dinner?
Yeah,
So
I
they
worked.
exactly. So during the MK Ultra program, there were CIA guys who went to work. They got up in the morning, they got dressed, they commuted into the office, then they went back into the back room and they tortured 5-year-olds and raped 5-year-olds and then studied how they could in the trauma that they experience control these people and use them for blackmail and sex favors at parties. Good, good, good.
Yeah,
So you go to work and you do that. That's what
that's
you do for a living.
you're a total psychopath.
And then you go home to your neighborhood and your
Mhm.
kids and your wife. Hey, honey,
That's
that's
so sick.
what the hell.
Yeah,
So they've been doing this for a long time. So is it conceivable that they got really good at coming up with substances that lull people into a stupor that they can easily be led to their demise?
for sure.
So
White pill.
white pill is this is what I've always maintained about this whole thing. The chemicals aren't enough to lull you into that stupor.
No, you have to be willing.
There's a character trait that makes you, because remember Sirhan, he had character traits that made him.
Yeah, they said he was highly hypnotizable and he was
They said
malleable
they said
and compliant.
he was compliant and he was disassociative.
Mm-hmm.
So he could actually just think he was in one place, but he's actually in another.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that you get rendered into that state through conditioning. It's a mental it's a mental choice that you make. It's an acquiescence,
It
perhaps.
is.
It's an acquiescence to the media. When you get scared and you get traumatized and you turn to the media for a
Help and
solve,
guidance.
For yeah, exactly. That's when Satan goes good, 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 because now you have made a decision that allows these chemicals to take place, to
Hmm.
take effect.
And you welcome it.
You welcome it. So now you have walked into the fog.
Mhm.
You walked into the fog. That's what you did.
So, but how do you I mean, I think that there are some people though, just like, like you were mentioning Sirhan, that are just more susceptible to that. It's their personality or whatever.
Yep.
So I think some like kids, that we talk about the younger generation, they've been brainwashed and indoctrinated, but I think, some of them are more leaning towards that susceptibility than others. And it doesn't matter what age you are. I think there's some people that are just definitely going to be going along with stuff more than others will.
That's what I think it is. I think we've talked about this. I think that this is kind of weird, but there's leaders and there's followers.
Yeah,
And I think that's you don't want to be a follower because followers these days are being led to their demise. If you're a
exactly.
follower and you're somebody who just goes, "Well, my influencer told me,"
Yeah.
they're going to lead you to your demise. And
Yeah.
what the way your demise works now, I'm starting to see what that looks like. You get rendered into a walker state and you wander aimlessly through the world, like just driving into people,
Yeah.
you know?
I know.
What was the other thing that you saw that was like totally like, what the hell is wrong with those people?
Well, these people that are like we were talking about, they're just driving like they're under the influence. Like they really shouldn't even be driving,
Totally.
and I don't know.
Oh
It's
no, it was the people you're holding an adorable puppy and they're just like, "Ugh."
yeah, that and like
No one even goes, "Oh my God, that's a cute puppy," you
and
know?
yeah, and just driving around like not following traffic rules at all and just I don't know. It
Like you know what they're kind of like? I notice illegal immigrants are kind of like this. Like, they won't make eye contact with you at a four-way stop.
yeah.
You know, like if you get to a four-way stop and it's four white people who grew up in America, they're going to communicate with each other with their hands. Go, oh, go ahead, go ahead. They might even know each other. Hi, Stan, go ahead. You know, but illegal immigrants will be stopped at the four-way stop, and they won't even look at you. They'll just keep. So you have
And
no
just
idea
stop
what they're
and go.
doing, and then you go to
Stop
go,
and
and
go.
they just go start to go, and there's just no communication there.
Yeah.
That's kind of what's happening. It's a
Well,
breakdown of communication.
yeah, I don't even know if it's just like I don't think it's just limited to illegal immigrants because I remember I told you about that incident a couple weeks ago with it was my doctor who went around me at a stop
Oh
like
yeah.
literally like passed me on the right to make a left turn in front of me as I was trying to make a left turn into oncoming
There's a
traffic.
whole bunch of different stuff going on.
It's like
He's a triple M to the P.
what the heck is going on here? But yeah, I see people just sort of like coming to a four-way stop and just barely pausing and then going and not taking their turn at all. Like they just sort of slow down and go and feel like, well, I came to this place and now I can just go without even like looking to
Oh my
see.
God. And I just thought of something. They aren't like polite and friendly. They're just
No.
in a stupor. They're psychopaths.
Yeah,
So they're walkers, but they're psychopaths and will hurt you if they can. So
totally.
that the Walking Dead was like a documentary.
Totally. I mean, but I think zombies are living amongst us now. Remember there was zombie commercials coming out a couple years ago, like right after the
Totally.
cootie shots,
And there was some
because they
documents
know.
that came out that the government had actually war gamed a zombie apocalypse, remember?
Yeah, I think there was something in those things, those big shawarma that was causing people to
The
act like,
Pokies.
yeah,
You
causing
know
people
what
to
it
act like
was?
zombies.
I think they knew when 100 million people in America took the Pokies that we were going to have a zombie apocalypse within
Yeah.
5, 10 years.
Yeah. So it's like we're living in one of those apocalyptic end of the world movies,
Totally.
where there's only like everybody's roaming around like zombies and everything's coming to an end, but there's only like a couple people who like know what's going on. We're like those couple people that know what's going on. And I think our listeners,
Hmm.
our audience, those are the people. So we are out there. There are people like us and like you, that know what's going on and we have to just keep talking about this stuff because you know
We can wake people up from the stupor. This
We
is what I firmly believe.
I think so. And sometimes, we hear people say, "Oh, who cares if they're not hurting you? Let them just do it." No, because
No,
when
they'll
they're
drag us down.
they'll drag us down. It's like they're dragging us down with the sinking ship. You know what I
A
mean?
society, no man is an island. A society has to function in the service of all the people of society. And if you have 95% of the people walking around in this stupor, that's not good for anybody. So
Mm-mm.
we have to snap these people out of it. And I think that you're not going to be able to stop them ingesting poison right now. You
No.
have to just get them to wake up and kind of see the big picture. If we can do that, that's the beginning, because then we can have people collectively through political will say no more spraying crap on people.
Yeah.
And the FDA is not approving these things. As a matter of fact, I think the FDA board should be comprised of like moms,
Yeah.
just like humble middle class moms. They should be the FDA board,
Totally.
not some stupid big shawarma golden parachute having faggot. I
Yeah.
hate those guys.
Yeah.
Let some 35-year-old mom who has two kids at home and is super conscious about what she gives them, she's on the FDA board,
Yeah. Perfect.
you know?
I vote for her.
Then we can start to fix this country. And then, like, no more spraying shit on people. And then, like, the media, we can, if we have enough people that have political will, we can start having alternative media that is completely organic.
Yeah.
And all we're doing is like educating you or entertaining you. We're not trying to manipulate you and brainwash you at all.
No. So remember we mentioned this before. Sometimes, people aren't always ready to receive information
Yeah,
in the same way or at the same time,
that's right.
but you can just plant seeds. So maybe, you might have a friend who thinks a lot of what we're talking about is just far-fetched or outrageous or whatever, but maybe there's, a certain episode or something that might register with that person. And if you plant a little seed, then, maybe a couple months down the road, they
That's right.
start to hear something that it's like, ooh, that kind of makes sense.
Well, the other thing too is right now, in order to defy the culture club, you have to take a big chance of being canceled
Yep.
and being ostracized. And most walkers are really cowardly
Yep.
and they're not going to take any kind of chance.
No.
So once our movement starts to prevail and it becomes less risky to come around to our way of thinking, that's when I think we're going to see this explosion of awakening. And that's when Renaissance 2.0 takes place.
I love it.
I think that's white for this
That's
one.
white pill.
You want anything else on this one?
That was great.
That was good.
Yeah.
All right.
Talk to you later.
Okay, we'll talk soon. Until then, please be careful of how many substances you are consuming right
I
now.
know. And if you enjoyed this episode, share it with a friend.
Share it with a friend. Oh, yeah. And we got to get used to telling people follow us on X, Unslave Your Mind on X. Follow us on Rumble, Unslave Your Mind Podcast, Spotify,
Instagram, Unslave Your
Instagram.
Mind Podcast.
Yep.
And
Website to come soon.
website is getting there,
And,
right?
and we do already have a website. The website
Unslave
is
Your Mind Podcast.
Unslave Your Mind Podcast. That's the website. But we don't have a lot up there yet, but you can go and check it out.
You can see some older episodes there too.
You can see older episodes, and pretty soon we're gonna have cool merch.
Cool merch.
Yes.
Yes. So
Okay.
you can wear it and just piss off the dudes in
Yes.
Silicon Valley.
Yes. And also there's gonna be you can join and you can have members only content because we're gonna
Yeah.
start having members only content.
We're actually creating some of that right now.
You can buy a members only jacket. That's gonna be our members
Yeah.
only attire. Okay.
Bye.
Talk to you soon.
Bye.